Back at it, and we've got this one, or this opening, reframed for the window that's going in here. You know, pretty simple. These studs are not on 16s, not from the outside, from the inside they are, so the nailing was a bit funky, but it's all the shear is done, all the nailing. We got rid of these shit blocks that were in here holding this wall going this way in. Put a single in there for now, nailed, and then we put a couple screws in it to hold that piece now. I can't see it from the inside, or no, we can't see it anymore. But the first stud along that wall, actually the double that's here for the door, is rotted out there, as well as the piece of sill plate. This door is, you know, pretty haggard, so we've got to rip it out. You know, just making sure that we can actually rip it out and not worry about it. Make sure we're not going to have to try to replace it. Oh, there's my hammer. Everything got put away except for him. So Skipper's getting that all measured out. The challenge for today, and honestly, I don't know if it's going to happen today. It seems a little too dangerous. You probably hear that wind out there. We've got a pretty gnarly storm coming in. Sustained 30, 40 mile an hour winds, gusts up to 70. And this is scary. This whole wall. You see a piece of wood there. It's not bad yet. When we get these good, 40 mile an hour gusts right now, because the wind's supposed to increase from the, throughout the day. This wall was scary. And what we've got to do, we've got a new header. This king stud is rotted out. I think this one was rotted on the outside, somewhere right along the king, I believe. But then also this stud here is just mush from the, when I was putting that siding on, I felt it. So this edge isn't nailed down, and this king is not nailed down. So we pull it out from the inside, but then also I've got all the wiring comes through here, even the 224 hot water heater. It sits behind that wall. So I'm gonna have to run down, turn all power off, losing my light, unplug, unfasten or unsecure the staples that hold this Romex down. I'm gonna pull all these out, cap and mark all my pigtails where they went, so we could fish all this out and ram it all back through the new stuff. We're gonna end up, this is a 9-foot, or was a 9-foot slider. We're putting a new 8-foot slider in. So we'll get a little bit more framing in here, maybe a little. If this wasn't such a bitch, I'd say we'd cut it back the whole wall, put a whole new floor plate in, but I think for now we're just gonna have to do just the edges. Wish we would have known the size of the window before we did all this. I would have kicked that in all the way where we needed to and left this side, so that's still, proper planning. Again, these gusts aren't too bad right now, but if you put your hand on this wall and just wait, it's scary. Just sitting over there looking at it, and this whole beam, this whole wall is it's good. How it's supposed to breathe, but I don't think it's supposed to have a diaphragm in it. So we might not be doing this today. What we may do is get a substantial piece to go across these two beams, screw all those in, maybe even put some lower blocking in there just to keep the bottoms stout. And again, we might add some blocking up there just to keep those from wandering and twisting, and need some blocking in there. Need to finish out that piece of blocking. Everything else in here I think look good. We might put a couple of pieces up there. And again, that's not for fire. What is it? Fire blocking. That's just to keep these studs from twisting and doing funky shit. But if we can get a substantial piece across here, lag all those trimmers or, you know, those upper studs, and then maybe get a brace going this way, just to keep the middle of that wall kind of stout. And then shit, I don't know, maybe on this side just come out and poke through the wall into that rafter, grab a rafter or something. To replace this, we're taking, you know, it's just a ridge, there's not a lot of weight up there, but it holds all this tile, you know, back to that hinge point. So, and with 50 mile an hour winds pushing, well, I'd have to look, but it seems like it's coming from everywhere. The wind coming from this way will wrap around and swirl here and pound on here. Same thing coming this way, it'll come around and pound in here. Yesterday the storm was moving from the southeast. It's kind of hitting this wall, but that's this is going to be the challenge for the day. Maybe tomorrow, we'll see. If we don't end up taking this down today, like I said, we might just get everything kind of prepped, get all our studs cut, get some blocking in there, take all this wiring out, get some sort of piece of wood in there, and just not disassemble it until possibly tomorrow, when hopefully these winds die down, because I don't want this son of a bitch to be my coffin. I'd expect a little bit of wood than this. So we'll be back. Forgot to mention, me and Skip ran down, picked up all of our new windows. A lot of windows. And we already had our sliding doors. We had two in the garage that we've had for a few years, and then, you know, new ones. So as far as I remember the plan, this old slider getting turned into that window there. This this slider, this is going to be the same size, yeah?
Was this header okay?
From the outside?
Yeah.
It's decent.
We'll have to replace it.
I wouldn't say that yet. We haven't pulled off the backside. Yeah, I'll insert a little clip, little picture at least of the A-frames. Old cap them over there, put together, pretty slick. And then we ended up, you know, tearing it back apart, and we got some stuff for studs and trimmers, stuff like that. Or not studs, blocking. I believe all the other ones. We got a few up here. We use screws, not nails, just to put everything together. Some 8-foot A-frames that went back of my truck and Skip's truck, and came out nice. We treated it like a grocery run. We got all the windows in one trip. Pulled up, guy said, "Yeah, you got like 22 windows. You gonna make a few trips?" No, we're doing this in one. He said, "There's no way." Shit, I had half these the small ones, and some of the inserts that they had pulled out. I had those just in their cab. Shit, I had these in my cab. And everything else just went on the A-frames. We could have, what do you think? We could have hauled another 10 windows, yeah? A piece. Those A-frames we made and picked up the windows, yeah. They weren't even full. We could have fit another 10 a piece, yeah. So that was all Matt's doing. Came up with those A-frames. So we'll be back. All right, got the electrical all pulled back, and we're ready to start bracing this up, getting it ready for tomorrow. We're gonna brace it with 2x10 beam to beam, screw all these studs into the 2x, and then support with another beam, you know, say off the middle of the floor. We're gonna find a good spot and brace it up. Then we're gonna brace from that back to that wall, just to lock that corner in. And then here in the middle, we're gonna take another 2x10 and brace it up against the rafter up in there, because the wind's coming from this direction. It's pushing on this, and I think that's what's kind of flexing this wall in and out. There's no wind hitting it from this side, and when you're down in the courtyard, you can feel the swirl action it's got, but it's not bad. I mean, you could stand there and it's not gonna blow you over. If you walk out to the courtyard, yeah, you gotta put some effort into staying vertical, but it's not bad. So we're thinking it's just kind of the wind pounding on this, you know, buckling this, going in and out. So we're gonna get it braced up and get all our studs, everything ready to put in probably tomorrow. I believe the height's the same, so we might just, no, it ain't gonna work, but yeah, we'll get into it. Got 240 pulled, got all of our wires marked, at least where they make sense to me. Of course, you can't really see. What do I got there? NE corn. What is that? Northeast corner light. So, like that one there, it goes over there, and then, you know, plugs. I don't know. It makes sense to me. You should be able to get it all put back together, get some new outlets. We need a new R3 or whatever they are for the exterior plug. Gonna need a new socket for the exterior light. It's actually over here, but it's coming together. We'll be back once she's all braced. So you got that little guy out. Went through and had to zip all the nails out with zippy. Orbital, no. Little Zippy did the job. Got this out. This piece of wood looks decent, nice and straight. That's how you get up to the very top corner. Come on. Stay put. That's no good. Damn, it's not good. And that's how that's done. No big deal. Well, we got some double rows of blocking. That's right where a seam is. And then also where our vertical seams were, we just put one on edge and kind of captured it with a few. You can kind of see how that one's cut there to help trap it in. Got them there, and on the bottoms. Of course, we got that stud replaced. We got this bad section of the floor that was rotted up underneath that. So we've got to replace this sill plate. It'll come out like another 6 inches actually, for the smaller door. So that's not too bad. This was the rotten floor that was in this corner here. Got it out. Got some more blocking in for the replacement piece, but we've got to get a piece. What we're gonna do, I believe, we're gonna cut the sill back in here, and then the floor repair piece, you know, go right underneath it. This whole floor sill all the way to there is gonna get replaced, but then of course it's gonna have this little stick out patch. There was no reason to pull that out. We got wires going through it. But then as we moved this way, we noticed there's no floor underneath that sill. So I don't know what's going on there. We might have to pull that up and just take a peek under there. That just goes into the closet, but it is a load-bearing wall. So I don't think it could just be straddling a gap like that. If so, we wouldn't have bothered replacing any of this rotten flooring here. There's just up there, we got a twisted stud. It was that one. That stud was kind of, well, not twisted, it was just kind of bowed out. So to pull it in, we used these Bessie clamps. Nice, they're plastic here, but they're steel there. And what I had done, I was up on top of that ladder, had the Bessie clamp above my piece of block, pretty much against the ceiling. And got my block in, nailed it in, everything was good. Went to go take the Bessie clamp out, and oh dick, I had put the clamp side in that pocket rather than sticking it out in here where I could get it. So I couldn't get in to loosen it, so I had to just keep kind of rocking it and getting it out and getting it out. Well, it finally popped out right in old boy's head. So took a little header. Luckily I didn't fall off the fucking thing. It hurts like hell, but gotta be more careful next time. Make sure we put the clamps on the right side. We've got one more piece of block there to do, and then just make a couple other pieces of double where our seam is. And we'll be pretty much done with this wall. We're gonna get we gotta get some more 9/16 ply that'll slip in there. Same thing we had to do over here. And actually, now that the door frame is out of there, we need to go in and nail down that section of the floor. But overall, it was a productive day. We'll be back at it tomorrow to finish this up. Hopefully finish this up. Get our last piece of blocking in there. I believe there's one piece of blocking over in that corner. We're not gonna try to put the doors or the window or anything in yet. We've got a day of decent weather and then it's back to storm. So we're just continuing to work inside. But we'll be back. So that's the crucifix we made to capture the cripples on top of the old header, laying right there. Got it out successfully. And what we ended up doing was moving the entire door over this way to better center it between the outside wall. And doing that, we used the old king, cut it. Now it's a cripple, so now we have double cripples. And now our king is a fucking true king. And this side, we're getting ready to put double king in. We'll get it up there. Luckily, when we moved the door over, it made it to where we weren't gonna have to put like an 1.5 inch piece of 2x for the sill to move it over where we wanted to get a double. So we still have the original one that we put in all the way back. And on this side, it gave us a longer one. So things just work out, and it split us right on the seam, which, you know, kind of a bitch now, but we're gonna put a double king up and it'll take care of it.